What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in to the Brass Ring Media Podcast for Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. I am one of your hosts, Zach Haydorn with Brass Ring Media. Pumped to be here. Tyler Sage is going to be here in just a couple of minutes. So don't fret if you're sick of hearing my voice. Tyler will be here tonight. It's a blast to be here, and we got a lot to discuss, a lot to get to. I may have a couple rants in me tonight. I may have a couple rants in the old noggin here to get off my chest. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Can't wait. Been waiting all weekend and all Monday for the show. And glad you're here with us today. Hello to everybody who is joining us on YouTube. Hello to everybody who's joining us on X. If you're listening on the One True Sport Twitter account. Hello, if you're on Rob Van Dam's Twitter account and you're catching us, hi to you as well. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for being here. We have this show on the air twice a week. Once here on Tuesday nights and also again on Thursday afternoons, usually Thursday afternoons, Friday afternoons. The second show kind of depends on the schedule of the week, but also just the kind of happenings in pro wrestling as well. So, but we will be on later this week too. Usually Tuesday nights are more of our WWE focused shows since we're coming out of the weekend. We're coming out of SmackDown. We're coming out of Monday Night Raw. And then on Thursdays, we typically spend more time talking about AEW and delving into some AEW topics. But today's going to be a heavy dose of WWE because some stuff going on. There's some stuff going on with them that I definitely want to get to. Let's say hi to everybody who's joining us in the live chat. I do have the live chat enabled tonight, guys. So if you want to get in on the conversation, you want to get in on the action, you want to bring up a topic, or you want to just vehemently disagree with an argument that I'm making or that Tyler will be making in a little while, you can do that in the live chat. We got Adam Kidd, who is one of our Brass Ring Media Gold members. He is in there right now. Adam says, "Good evening, everyone." And then he says here, "We on yet?" Oh, we're on. Oh, we are on. We are on. We are on, Adam. We got the boss as well, who's in the live chat saying, "Hey, Zach, are you the third man with Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan? Also, are you happy with the Bears draft picks?" Well, I'm not the third man with Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan. You know, it would take a lot of money to get me to join those two. I don't even know. What do you even call them these days? I don't know. I saw that hype video, boss, and I'm just like, okay, we're still doing this. We're still doing this third man thing. But no, I'm not. As far as the Bears draft picks go, I am happy. I'm happy. I don't know what to expect yet out of them. But they make sense to me. And it's kind of like I'm at this point with the Bears where it's like, if Ben Johnson likes them, I like them. That's kind of where I'm at this point. If he likes Colson Loveland, man, you know what? So do I. I've got all the chips pushed into the middle on Ben Johnson. If this doesn't work out, if Ben Johnson doesn't work out and Caleb Williams doesn't work out, I'm 40 years old, turned 40, January. It's a long time of dealing with Bears mediocrity. Long time. And I think this may be the final straw if these two don't work out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. They got a long way to go. You can't win games in the offseason. You got to win them in the regular season. And I've not seen the Bears do enough of that in the recent past. Andrew H., our other gold member, says grifters when talking about Hogan and Bischoff. Can't argue with that, but I will argue with this next chat. Andrew H. says, Caleb Williams, no longer the biggest BITC you know what in the NFL, thanks to Shedeur. Wow. Hey, that is a shot across the bow against Caleb Williams. I mean, you saw how he played last year. That dude's tough. He got sacked like almost 60 times. That's not what I want to happen. That's not what I want to have happen. But I don't think you can call him that bad name, Andrew H. So I don't know what your team is. You got to drop it in the chat because I got to know. Caleb Williams sucks. Hey, now you got to throw your team out there. I want to be able to make fun of them on a weekly basis. Thanks, Andrew. All right, let's get into some wrestling talk here, and then we'll set the table for the show here in a little bit. And we just got one Tyler Sage who just popped in to the chat. So this is perfect timing. Tyler, what's up, man?
Hello.
How's life?
It's good. How about you?
Hey, man. Can't complain. Can't complain. We already talked a little NFL trash already to some folks in the live chat. So
you think Caleb Williams is overrated, but
hey,
if you want to see my take.
It remains to be seen. You saw flashes, but that's about all you saw. With some,
he's
flashes.
Probably better than Shedeur, probably. So that's probably your rebuttal.
I hope so, but you never know.
I said probably, not for sure. So,
hey, I can't get behind I can't seriously defend any Bears player at this point. It's like,
well, yeah, like drafting the guy Loveland, right, instead of Tyler Warren is a head scratcher.
Loveland over Warren,
have you looked up his stats?
Loveland
last year. Loveland, yeah, I mean it's like 500 yards last year, 8 touchdowns, which is good. But that offense is also very pedestrian. The style of offense Michigan runs, but. The guy for Ohio State, as an example, right, as an Ohio State fan, I want to compare it to the Michigan guy. But our guy, G. Scott, who did not get drafted, had like 200 less yards catching, receiving last year than Loveland did. And now more games too. But
the thing is, it's like I'm at this point where it's like, if Ben Johnson likes you, okay, I'm in for right now. I'm in to see how that will play out. I've been on the other side, I got all the chips in the middle. As I said, I'm Ben Johnson.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you kind of have to at this point. So
I kind of have to. We got no choice.
It seems like you have a coach who's not a moron, which is like for the Browns, it's the same way, right? Like Stefanski's the first coach I haven't wanted to fire after like 3 games. And even if you have a bad season, it's like, no, trust the process. It seems like NFL teams are just smarter in general than they were even 5 years ago.
I think so. Well, I mean, the Bears did hire Matt Eberflus, so
Yeah, I said 5 years compared to 5 years.
That's true. Oh man. All right. Well, more NFL talk as the offseason goes on. I mean, we'll see. But let's pivot to Monday Night Raw, and I liked this episode of Raw in some spots, but I very much think that this Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman kind of faction that they're establishing is really missing the mark in terms of presentation, crowd reaction, and storyline. Like none of it is cohesive. 2 weeks in. Now we're 2 weeks in, but I thought it was a really bad sign last night on Raw when you have like a babyface like Sami Zayn, right? It's one thing to like not cheer for CM Punk, right? Okay, Punk's prickly. He's had this long feud with Seth Rollins, and okay, fine. They've kind of conditioned Seth Rollins fans to not like CM Punk a little bit, based on that story. But Sami Zayn is a tried and true white meat, sympathetic babyface. And last night on Raw, you know, they're cheering Seth as he stomps him into the mat. They're cheering Braun Breaker as he, you know, spears Sami Zayn out of his shoes, you know, 3-4 times, chanting one more time, as Andrew H says. And I, to me, that's not good. Like, I think that it can be entertaining in a vacuum, but long term, if you want this storyline to matter down the road, where they build to a big WrestleMania match between Seth and Punk or Seth and Roman or something to that effect, like, Seth has to work harder and Heyman has to work harder and Breaker has to work harder to get booed, like, if they're going to present as heels. Because last night you had the whole show, the whole like hook of the show was, is Sammy going to take this like heelish offer to run away to SmackDown? And if he doesn't, what's going to happen to him? And it just doesn't land if the audience isn't with it. In my eyes, it doesn't land if they're not reacting negatively towards Seth. And I don't blame the audience on this, but like, I would like to see Seth try to change up something. Don't stand there with the microphone and like soak in the song that the audience is singing. Like, something that like acknowledges the fact that like, hey, we're supposed to get booed here. We're one of the biggest acts in the whole company. We just did a huge angle at WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year. And I think they've got virtually no steam right now because they're a heel act that's getting cheered like crazy over one of the most over baby faces in the entire company. So what's your take on last night, and give like a state of the state on the new Rollins faction?
Yeah, I got a question for you, and then I'll get into that.
Shoot.
What do you like? What's your percentage on the pie chart of who to blame here? What's your like WWE percentage, and what's your Seth Rollins percentage?
I would say it's 70-30.
WWE Seth Rollins or Seth
Yeah.
Rollins WWE?
WWE Seth Rollins.
Yeah, because I'm like a 90 WWE problem here, like Triple H problem. Because like I think the only like point is that like he shouldn't lean into the dance and like having people sing the music, right? Is like the biggest note to give him to like not get cheered.
Yeah, yeah, right. Or just yes.
He's gotten over in that way for so long that it's like, hey, like, yeah, I got to remember not to lean into it out there, sort of thing. So, well, you know, another thing you didn't mention there is the crowd booing CM Punk pretty brutally, I thought.
Yeah, it took forever to get like the Rollins waited like, it felt like a minute, like for the CM Punk chance to like,
you know he loved that.
Come
he
in.
He even had his head down and was like, yeah.
He did. And then he finally was like, oh, I knew they were out there. And it's like,
yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
And then Roman was a little better, but like, you know, I think that's like a place to look in the mirror of like adding a Braun Breaker to this group, who's like a very cool guy. It's like having Tama Tonga. I'm sorry, Jacob Fatu. I don't know why. Yeah, the opposite of having Tama Tonga. That'd be the boring faction. Having Jacob Fatu, right? He's just like a cool badass who people want to see do cool badass stuff, right? Yeah. So it's like strange choices all around to get this group over. Heyman's always been the heat magnet, so not leaning into him in these.
Yeah, and then he doesn't say anything, right?
Yeah, so it's like I understand you don't want to like you want to have Seth Rollins look like the guy, but you know I think this is not Bloodline 2.0, so I understand them trying to like change that sort of thing. But honestly, it's like I think there's a point here where you have to like decide, like, is he the bad guy? Because like it's getting rejected pretty hard right now when there's no better candidate than Sami Zayn to take that beating last night to get over as a heel than that moment, right? Like, is it screwing over CM Punk multiple times? I don't think that works.
I don't think so either.
As we've seen that. Is it screwing over Roman? I don't think that works, obviously. Mm-hmm. So it's like you might have to have a big pivot here where is this just like now the type of fan that, you know, babyface that people want? And do people not want Seth to be a heel? That eventually Heyman screws him over and Breaker is the guy, right? That's like the story here. That's like Seth not being the guy, and maybe people are rejecting that and they want, I don't know. So that's like my thing with it, because like and from the company standpoint too, like all the beats are there to get him over as a heel, but I just don't think it's like there in the way they need it to be. And I think a lot of that is like the Roman thing of him not changing his character, because now the crowd is like conditioned to be like, well, he's kind of just doing what Roman's been doing with Paul Heyman. And yeah, he was gone for a minute, came back, but Roman didn't change. He still hasn't changed. He's still a heel. They get cheered like crazy. So I think that's like a more systemic issue within the company. And maybe heels are now super boring characters like John Cena. And the Seth, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker thing is interesting to see where it goes. So yeah, that's what was your original question? Like what I thought last night, right?
No, no. You answered it. Like just kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
we're at it. Yeah. I mean, I think like the thing is, it's like you got to go one of two ways. Like to your point, you either have to take a look at what's happening because, like, look, it was Sami Zayn, right? Like, you can't get a better babyface to work with in that angle, and so if Sammy's not getting it cheered, you don't have it nailed down yet. So you either have to do something with the act in order to get a heel reaction, or take away from it so that you don't cue the audience to bark at Braun Breaker or whatever, dance or whatever the song, all that. Or, yeah, you change the story and Seth's not the bad guy. And I think that there actually is a lot of validity to that. I think you can make a very good case where it's, Seth, the reason we're cheering Seth is because he spoke truth to Power, to Punk, to Reigns, and then acted on that. And he's the guy we've wanted to see for years in this spot. Like, I think you can credibly make an argument for that.
He gave Sammy a chance too. Like, he gave him an out. He didn't just totally screw him over. Sammy screwed Sammy,
Sure. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm on one hand, like the other thing I was thinking last night too is, well, they were having a match, what's Braun Breaker supposed to do? Like, not spear him like during the match? Like, but I don't know. They clearly were going for heat and they didn't get it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, I also think like, and we'll get broadly to the other stuff, but it's still like, to me, easily the best stuff going on in WWE currently. So, like, this card is yikes on this card for Tyler. Just know that ahead of time. But so, like, I'm open to like it going on, committing to Seth, getting Braun over as a star, all that sort of stuff. And like, yeah, they're in that weird in between where, like, what is Seth doing right now if he's not going after Jay? Right? It's like the weird thing in wrestling. Of like, this group is having a bunch of diversion before they go on to the big thing. And that's like another key of like getting Jay over as much as possible and having Seth and Paul Heyman screw him over. And that would be multiple times that Paul Heyman screwed over Jay as well. So that leads to other things. So hopefully that is more of the story when it gets to it. But yeah, you got to do some groundwork on both of them to make sure they're over in their respective ways. I just don't know for both if I'm confident that Jay's going to be over as a babyface and Seth's going to be over as a heel based on everything we've just talked about.
Yeah. More on this in a second, guys. But let me just sit at the table, take care of some business here. This is the Brass Ring Media Podcast. We're live with the show, as I said, twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you haven't subscribed to the One True Sport YouTube channel yet, do it. Do it now. You don't want to miss any of our shows or any of the other Brass Ring Media podcasts from Robert and from Ashley that hit the channel live on a weekly basis. So hit subscribe, turn on your notifications so that you can make sure to not miss a single thing. We also offer all of these shows on a podcast feed. So wherever you get your podcasts, just search Brass Ring Media. We'll pop up and you can get all of our live shows that air here right as audio shows, an audio podcast right to your phone or tablet or computer, wherever you listen. For you as well. So Brass Ring Media, search that on your favorite podcast app. We're on all of them, and you can check that out and take us on the go. Also, we do have a written newsletter that goes out on a regular basis, almost every day, if not every day, most weeks. We've got show reviews in there. We've got editorials in there. Tyler just had a really cool feature on Jey Uso and The Rock and a theory behind their relationship, so you can check that out. But it's totally free to subscribe on Substack. So search Brass Ring Media Substack, and you will make sure to get that as well. Also, and most importantly, we offer Brass Ring Media membership for everybody out there. It's only $4 a month. Find us on Patreon, patreon.com/brassringmedia. With your membership, you get a member-only podcasts from myself, Tyler, or both of us every single week. You get all of our pay-per-view and PLE review shows, including the one for Backlash that's coming up. Double or Nothing's coming up, so it's a good time to try us out. You also get access to our Discord community, which is really fun. All of our members hang out and just talk life and talk, NFL, talk movies, talk TV shows, all sorts of stuff. But you get that as well, and then all the perks throughout the week and throughout the month. So it's only $4. Give it a go. We certainly would love to have you, and think we can earn you business on a monthly basis. Once again, it's patreon.com/brassringmedia. As I said, I got the live chat going. Everybody is rocking and rolling. Mike here says, join now. I agree, Mike. Thank you. And we also have our super chats open as well. So if you want to make a contribution to the show that way, whether it's a question or a comment or a topic, please do. Please do. We love the super chats. They help keep us ticking, and appreciate it in advance. Any amount is a big help. So let's get some super chats here for our gold members, which I have to thank, by the way. Adam Kidd, Andrew H., and Sean Palikta. Thank you so much for your gold member support. We appreciate that, and helps us do what we got to do, and we definitely appreciate the support. Adam here says, Seth was talking in riddles like his name is John Moxley. Changed the damn music. We have let's see, we've got Andrew here. Andrew here saying one more time as a ode to what happened last night with Sami Zayn. And then also Andrew H says here, I've said it already, when Sami turns, he can use the one more time line as his justification. Interesting. Tyler, so let me ask you, based on what you've seen so far with this, because I agree, even though it's not working, Brandon, I got to put this up. Brandon says, "What's the price with the tariffs?" We haven't determined tariff pricing yet, but we'll let you know.
Yeah, StreamYard from a source from another.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have to pay more.
Yeah, right. If StreamYard hikes up their prices, we'll let you know.
We'll pass the cost on to you all for sure. No,
yes, for sure. Right. Oh God, that's amazing. All right. So based on what you've seen so far with this angle, and like I said, or I was about to say, I agree that I think it is the most interesting thing in WWE, even though it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
Which way would you advise Paul Levesque to go on this? Is it work harder to turn Seth heel, or is it just ride it and just let him take on whatever momentum he can get and treat him as a babyface, because that's the way people are responding to him?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. It's interesting, right? I think you have your other most.
It's a tough question. Yeah,
you have your other most babyface character and your most heel character taking on each other in Jay and Logan Paul, right? And what I would do is I would do a backstage segment where they're interacting, where Seth is interacting with Jay, and in a kind of heelish way, definitely a heelish way, and see how the crowd reacts or out there. And maybe Jay's like, "Hey man, what you did to Sami's not cool." Where it doesn't lead to a match. But I want a little, even an AEW style thing where there's the crossover event, and I want to see how the crowd reacts, right? Because if they're choosing Seth over Jay, then that's I don't know. I think I'm just going all in on where the crowd's taking me here, as they've done with Roman and Punk and Seth up to this point. I think we were all surprised when post Rumble that Seth was not the heel and not curated in that way to us as an audience member. So I think it's more ride with it and see how it goes is the take that is the way they're going to take it. But Yeah, I don't know. I probably would lean in and try and make him a heel as much as possible. And maybe, I don't know. I don't think you align him with Cena and Future Future with Travis Scott and The Rock and all that sort of stuff. So,
Did you
yeah,
see Seth go like this yesterday?
yeah, I did see that. So that was interesting, right? So that's like the way to probably guarantee, especially with like how The Rock's appeal or what do you do that with the presidential appeal is lower, right? His appeal is pretty low with hardcore fans. So, yeah, I would probably try to still commit, but we'll see where they go. Like, do you think he has a match at Backlash, Seth?
I do. I kind of think they're gonna do like a tag team match. Don't you think? Don't you think they're gonna do like Seth and Braun against Punk and Roman
At Backlash?
What do you think?
No, it's like 2 weeks from now. They have one more episode of TV to get that off the ground.
I know, but I mean, like this show needs
That's like
that
that's like SummerSlam, unless Seth's taking that title off of Jay.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't know. I just look at this card and it's like you've got 2 celebrity matches and Becky match, and then that's it. and Cena and Orton, I guess. Like this show needs that match.
You have 1 or 2 more matches coming for that show.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I could be totally wrong on this, of course. But it just seems to me that like they need a big match. Like they don't have one. They don't. I mean, the Cena match, you know how it's going to go, right? I mean, it's big, I guess, but it's Randy and Cena. Like
I would say, like treat it like the big stuff with Cody, and Rock and all that stuff. Like I would give Seth and Braun and Heyman a segment on the pay-per-view, but not a match. And you can like try and get some. I mean, you're in front of pay-per-view audience though, so they're gonna love everything they do as well. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Like I would probably try and lean into it. Like if you can get The Rock, and he's like aligns with Seth and Heyman. That's like an easy way to get him over his heels as like lackeys, which I don't know if that's the point. If not, like do the segment. And if it goes the way that I think it'll go, where they get cheered in what they're doing, then lean into it. And they're just like badass guys that do badass stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of continue the thing of like, well, they're not good guys or bad guys. And then you kind of get in a weird zone. You can figure it out from there. And like, are people going to pick one over the other? That's probably what you want. Like if Braun is your biggest baby face out of this and you have Seth like degrading him left and right, treating him like crap, then that's the way to get Seth over as a heel.
Yeah. Right. And you don't have to decide that right now, but but like, or if Braun is really becoming like a thing, then you can turn Seth heel on him. And I think that would work eventually. But I'm with you though. I mean, I think you give it a little more time, I think you give it more time to kind of see what you can do with it. But my biggest concern, more so than like, it's not working, is it's not working. And there isn't an attempt to do something about it because WWE as a company doesn't care about that anymore. Like they don't like, I caught a lot of flack on the socials last night because I was just like, this thing is not working. Like it was not a good night at the office for Seth. Like, and I got constantly hit with the argument of like, well, they're just shades of gray characters. Like they're playing in the middle and like they, people will respond however they want to respond. And I mean, I think that there's a time and a place for that in wrestling, but it can't be like a philosophical change. That's not what pro wrestling is. Like pro wrestling is you want to generate as much investment as you can on one side against another. Like historically, even as early as or as late as last year at WrestleMania, that's the formula. That's the formula that draws the best. Now, again, there's shades of gray and there's certainly like scenarios in which that's not the case. But I think it'd be a mistake for WWE philosophically to head down the road of, well, we're just going to tell these stories and we don't care how people react. We're just going to just tell them and let people react how they want. I don't think that that's a fruitful endeavor for them long term. Again, in short bursts, it might, cool moments, surprising swerves. Like you'll get like a sugar rush of that. But long term, I think it will manifest in people just not caring about your characters one way or the other. And I hope that that's not what this is an example of at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it worked for the main event of night one, where there was no good guy or bad guy. I think.
Well, or you could argue that it didn't, because now you have Seth, who's supposed to be a heel, who's not a heel because of.
Well, if that didn't work, then I got bad news for the lifetime ranking of WrestleMania 41 in the hierarchy of how that show.
Well, sure, yeah, exactly.
But no, I mean, I think in the moment it was fun and it worked in that way, but it's not something that's sustainable long term.
Yeah,
for me personally. But yeah, it's something where, and this could be one Seth promo next week, and then
it could be, yeah,
because he hasn't done that promo either. He's been like still very down the middle for a long time on like, hey, like he doesn't do the cheap heat stuff, and but what if he comes out next week? He's like, yeah, Sammy didn't listen to me, and that's what happens when you don't listen to me, and then people are going to start cheering him, right? It's like it's tough. It's like, I don't know what you do when you're out there and you're like, okay, well, now what do I do? You can't just be like, hey, Oklahoma City, you guys suck. Boo. Like that's wherever they're going to be next week. But yeah, so I don't know. It's tough. And as like Adam says here in the chat, like MJF can't even get heat right now. He's getting cheered. Yeah. Now he's doing stuff that's not like as main event right now. He's doing fun stuff also. But yeah, I mean, it's just like who's getting like heat consistently in pro wrestling right now? Because John Cena's getting, Cody Rhodes.
We don't know about Cody Rhodes yet. Logan Paul is the only one.
Logan Paul. Yeah, because Dom's a babyface.
Dom's babyface, Logan Paul.
AEW, not the Death Riders. They're getting no reaction. Right. Yeah, I think it's a thing. Yeah,
I think I would take that over. Well, I don't know. It's a tough.
Oh, no, come on. I certainly would have Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman versus the Death Riders as like a faction choice.
Well, no, I'm just saying that like no, that's not what I mean. I mean that like if you're Jon Moxley, like what he's doing, like the story in AEW right now, everybody chasing down Jon Moxley, even if he's getting like a tempered reaction, it's negative. Mm-hmm. It's not like, so it's like, it's quiet, but generally, I think their audience wants to see somebody beat Jon Moxley for the championship. Mm-hmm. That I think is is a better spot to be as like a company and as a main event like program than like a totally messed up like deal with Seth Rollins where he's getting super cheered as he's trying to be this like this big bad heel. That's more what I meant. Yeah, no, I'm not taking Death Riders over that group, but I'm saying just from where they are right now, I would say the story when it ends, Jon Moxley, like it still culminates, big show, huge pop for whatever babyface it is, and that's it. On you go. You have that to play. Right now you don't have that with Seth.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking about FTR is getting heat currently. So that's
they are. Yep.
You beat down Copeland, which is like 50-50. On like an AEW crowd, like beating down Copeland might get you cheered immensely. I would have cheered for it live. So I popped huge for it when it happened. So yeah, this is like pro wrestling today, right? Like a lot of baby faces people are tired of, and the heels are the cool guys.
It's really interesting to see like when Cody does come back, like how he does, in terms of that, and whether WWE cares Gunther gets some heat. I guess that's something kind of. But we get to the chat here because we got some good comments that I want to get to. Andrew H kind of leading off before I even said this. Logan Paul, huge heel. Yeah, I thought he did a nice job last night. He gets people fired up. Adam Kidd says here, Seth, Braun, and Heyman are all easy to like. It was lazy to just think beating Sammy down would be enough. And that's a great point, because that's where I like put the responsibility, like the 70% on like booking the company, just how the company conditions like fans in general to react to certain stuff. Because based on if you're Paul Levesque, based on what you've seen up till that point, there's no way that you would have been able to just confidently say, "Oh, we're just going to beat up Sammy and that'll be fine." Like there was just no crowd reaction that indicated that would be true. Zero. And so to just go with that and think that was enough, like I agree with Adam here. Like it's miscalculated at best and lazy at worst.
For sure. It's like, oh, Sammy's like, that's like when he came out, I was like, oh, okay, well, they're just like biggest babyface, turn on him, get heat, go on to next week. And that's probably like what the notes were on the on the whiteboard. Like, oh, this will be easy. People are dumb, etc.
Yeah, but like when you're getting like you're there, like part of pro wrestling is like managing that reaction. And so when you're hearing that, and you're hearing the positivity, and you're hearing, Seth not even able to quickly turn, CM Punk boos, it's probably not a call that you can make like necessarily like in the moment, but by the end of the night, I don't know, you should be able to like pivot a bit and adjust to either try to get heat and make sure you do, or just go a different direction. Let's see here.
And just to be clear, all this worked way more than Pat McAfee's desk speech or Logan
Paul.
So
just I'm so glad you said that. I was not a fan of that either. I thought, and it got like rave reviews from people that I trust, like Wade and others. And I was like you. I was like,
he's an announcer.
He's an announcer.
Keep that in mind. So yeah,
right.
He's about to wrestle the guy who just had your title and could probably beat him.
Exactly. Like it's crazy. Like also like the speech itself. Like let's be real about that for a little bit here. Like I thought it was just totally like got to the point of, all right, man. Like we get it. Like you love yourself. Like great. Yeah. It wasn't like babyface to me at the beginning. Maybe it was, but then by the end, I was just like, all right, dude, like you're rubbing me the wrong way with this. Like just get down and don't challenge Gunther. And then to your point, they've got big problems like booking this, like, because they're going to give McAfee something in that match. And
I mean, look at his match.
Nothing in that match. Zero.
Didn't he beat Cole, or did Cole beat him in that match?
Oh man, I don't remember.
I remember it was like very much a point of contention of like giving a celebrity way too much.
Yeah.
That match itself.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. Like I think they went way too far. Andrew H says here, but he's also a professional football player. Let's not be ignorant. Dude played at a high level. But Andrew, they're not playing football. That's like saying like, a professional football player would be automatically good at fighting. Like that's not the case.
Are you gonna make me say it too? He's a punter. Come on.
Yes.
I know he had an awesome tackle once. So I know that's the comeback. But if you want to do simulated fighting, a guy who held your highest title or on the same level as your highest title, like I don't care if he played football, like if I don't know, who's like the Micah Parsons, who's like the scariest guy in the NFL from like a physicality standpoint.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Caleb. Yeah, I think I might be able to take Caleb Williams, but you would want a guy like Braun Breaker. You'd want to set up to be able to like take on a guy like that, right? In kayfabe, obviously not the case. But like Chad Gable would be an NFL player in a match because he would just tap him out. So
for sure. I mean, there's just yes. This football player thing does not translate to me, Andrew. Like I get your point, but it just because you play football doesn't mean you can wrestle or fight or anything like that. It does not. It means you're tough and you can play football. That's what it means. So no, I don't know. I don't know about that. Says you accept Adam Cole is under 36 pounds, and my wife could whip his ass. Yeah,
No. Cole is 6 foot tall.
Yeah,
200 pounds. I think you can look up like the measure. I remember I do this from time to time. I'm gonna look up right now what Google tells me.
I bet it says 6 feet.
So funny. Hold on.
Come on. Is it? Does it?
I don't know. I'm slow because I have StreamYard. And Chrome eats on my RAM. So, yeah, I'll let you know. Unless someone else wants to Google it, just tell us.
Yeah, we'll pivot quickly back to Pat McAfee and Gunther here in a second. But any final thoughts on Seth right now? I mean, I think we pretty much analyze it from most angles. But just anything else that you want?
No, I mean, I think the follow up and what they do at the pay per view is important. If it's Seth and Sammy, I'm not in love with what they're doing with it, but we'll see.
Yeah, agreed. All right, well, we got 2 celebrity matches coming at Backlash 2. Seemingly, anyway, Gunther and Pat McAfee is going to be a thing. I really don't. I am not a fan of this. Unless it goes down like Brock Lesnar, 6 feet. See, it's crazy. Unless this Gunther Pat McAfee match goes down like Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, at SummerSlam, I just think it's just a terrible move. 201 pounds. Come on, that is
all right. I'm done now.
No, that's crazy. Now I'm going to have to rant about that
for the podcast listeners. Google has Adam Cole at 6 foot 201. Still cruiserweight. Never forget.
Oh my God. No, just no. That's awful. Anyway, this could only be booked one way for it to work, and that's Gunther absolutely demolishing Pat McAfee. So, I mean, I guess I hold out hope that that's what they do, but I doubt it.
Yeah. I'm not hopeful of that. I think the company, as a company, I think they're way more in the Pat McAfee business than the Gunther business. So,
right.
At this point, I would pick Pat McAfee to win. If there's a betting odds, I bet he's the slight underdog.
Okay. To win? Whoa. Hold on a second. To win. You bet him to win, or you book him to win?
I don't know. If this is already booked, and you ask me what I would do, I'm like, oh, who cares? Just do it. It's probably what I would tell you, because they've shown that they don't care at all about Gunther as a character.
There's just no coming back from that, though.
Tapping out to Jay, who's never tapped out another human being ever before.
I don't know.
It's also right there too, and having a bad match.
I don't know that I could get on board with this. I don't know that I can get on board with Pat McAfee beating. Does
it get Pat off commentary? Then yes, for sure. Give him the belt. I don't even care.
Yeah. Let's see. Andrew H says, I agree with Tyler on WWE having more in McAfee's show, game day, social media, etc. Oh, I mean, there's no question. I mean, I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying it's, for better or worse. Do you want all your stars in a commentator's basket, or all your eggs in that basket, or want the wrestlers to be there?
I'm not going to give you the odds. Lyra and Pat McAfee have similar odds to win their matches, so you take that for what you.
Lyra, okay,
and Pat McAfee have similar odds.
Okay, interesting.
Not exact odds, but similar odds.
Interesting. Adam says bye. Lost my Wi-Fi connection. TTYL. Man, TTYL. I have not seen that said or written in a long time. Thanks, Adam. All right. The other celebrity match, which I'm higher on, is Logan Paul against Jey Uso. I think this is like a good use of Logan Paul in this scenario. This is why you have Logan Paul beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania, so that he can be in these matches semi-reasonably, and he can take losses. And I definitely think that that's where they're going on this. I think this is protection against Jey, as far as we want Jey to be cheered. So let's put him against Logan Paul. He can get a win and move on from there. But I don't loading up your show with celebrity matches like this, but in this case, I'm better with this just because, there is history there with Logan Paul. He did just get a win at WrestleMania, and Jey needs a straight up heel opponent that he can just work with. And I think Logan Paul can be that guy. It's obviously Jay in this match is a focus, but I'll tell you what, in this scenario, Logan Paul is like very important to Jey Uso as a act that they're trying to get over and stay over. Like he is they're trusting him with quite a bit to go in there and make sure you get heat opposite this newly crowned babyface. And we've seen, that audiences aren't like necessarily apt to react the way you want. So he's got a big job to do. And I mean, I think he's likely to be able to do it successfully, but we'll see.
Yeah. On paper, great use of like getting Jay his first defense, his first win with someone that you're not really caring about, but they're built up, right? All that on paper makes a lot of sense. As did on paper, beating up Sammy made sense, and it didn't work. Right? So I think this is the same way. This match is going to be atrocious.
Yeah,
it's got to be the opener, probably.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe
not even.
Yeah, this might be like the third match.
Yeah,
or the second. Yeah, you might open with Becky,
right,
or with Pat McAfee. Those are both better matches. So you're the fourth. I mean, obviously Cena. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of bad matches on this card. It's gonna be a slog of a pay-per-view. This is a thumbs down. I'm telling you right now, preemptive thumbs down. 15 days before or whatever. So, but yeah, I think that doesn't help. But yeah, I mean, all the things you said make sense. And a guy for Jay to beat cleanly as a heel and get over in the best way possible. So yeah, that's fine. Probably in segment 2. I just don't like the idea of it. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, again, I think it shows that like they're being overprotective of Jay. Like to me, it's like they don't trust Jay, yet to like truly deliver as like this face of Raw type babyface, like or kind of face of Raw. Like they don't trust him for that, and so they figure, hey, we can't put him with Seth right now because Seth would eat him alive. Like, and by all accounts, that's what would happen. Gunther, we've already done. Who can we get like a surefire heel reaction with? And I think that's why it makes sense, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're rostered in a good spot when Logan's getting those kind of matches. And Andrew says here, I just heard Tyler doesn't believe in storytelling. I don't think I heard that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in this storytelling, but I don't watch like bad TV shows too, with poor writing, with characters I don't care about. That's more, I don't believe in characters I don't care about, I guess is the moral of the story. That don't have arcs. Logan Paul does not have an arc as a character in WWE across the entire time that he's been there.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
Yeah. And then Jay's had a mini arc with Gunther, which was fine. They did salvage that a little bit, but yeah, here like what? It's such a quick thing on the schedule too, right? You have 3 Raws in between pay-per-views.
That's another. Yeah,
so it's just instantly going to be kind of crap anyway. So
yeah. All right,
I do worship at the pulpit of Khan in the way that his team gives me lots of draft picks for a guy who's the size of Adam Cole. So,
is he 6 feet, 200 pounds? Also,
Travis Hunter. He might actually be 6 foot, 200 pounds.
He might
be shoot that big.
Eddie's really, really fast and really, really, he can catch footballs. I still don't know. I still don't think it was a good trade, but yeah,
I agree. It was great for me.
It's yes, but it's the Jaguars, so All right, last topic before we wrap up here tonight, guys. Another Raw topic. Becky Lynch had her kind of moment to be a heel, just like Seth, and she revealed that she was the one who attacked Bayley at WrestleMania, preventing her from wrestling in the match. She talked about how Bayley has constantly been a thorn in her side and how she hated the fact that you had somebody like Lyra like cozy up to Bayley, instead, while she was out, and hence the turn. So I had like very low hopes for this, going in. And so with that in mind and those expectations in mind, I didn't think this was like a terrible segment. Like I thought Becky was able to get more over as a heel than Seth was. And I also think for the first time ever, you saw Becky like pull a little fire out of Lyra Valkyria. You saw her pull like some personality out of her finally. Not a lot, but some. And that's what you get when you work with somebody like Becky, right? I mean, Becky is like one of the best in the business. But I still think this is just like way, way beneath her. Like working Lyra Valkyria for a WWE Intercontinental Championship that nobody really cares about. It's like, ugh. Like I don't know. Like you can justify it, and I think like I'd bottom line it by saying it was better than I thought it was going to be, but it doesn't change my overall opinion on what's happening here. I still think turning Becky heel was a mistake, and I still think Lyra being the babyface foe for Becky as a heel is an even bigger mistake.
Yeah, I was just watching this. I'm like, why is this happening? Like, what is the like? Yeah. Is this all to get Lyra Valkyria over?
Yeah, there you go. Like, right.
That seems like a
why
sunk cost fallacy in action to me. Of like, because it's like you do this and you put all these resources behind it, and if it doesn't work, then you really like. I mean, I guess it makes sense, and they like her. Triple H likes her a lot because you got, what Julia and Roxanne are officially up, it seems like. So you got people coming for her in that spot that she's not taking. So maybe that's the idea, and everyone just really likes her. And but like, if you're Becky, like, is that the best use of this character? Because like, definitely. let's say it was today, right? And no one had talked about Bayley being attacked at WrestleMania and why she couldn't perform. I don't think anybody would be asking the question of like, hey, are they ever going to tie that story together?
Right.
Like, I don't think anybody cared.
I forgot about it. When she said that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So like, it's just like all of it is like, why are we doing this? Like, shouldn't Becky just be? If we are going to do it, like, is she going to lose and then take on Io after a loss to Lyra Valkyria? Like, I mean, I'd rather her do bigger things. But like, isn't her as a babyface taking on like heel Bianca a better use of her, etc.? Like her and Charlotte getting together and Charlotte being, I don't know. It's just like it seems like it makes way more sense for her to be
like Bayley at least. At least Bayley. I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of that at this point either. But like,
we're gonna do Becky and Mariah. Is that the plan here at SummerSlam? Like, so
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So.
We got some good comments on this, and then we'll wrap up. Adam says, "Who's this Lyra? You mean C-SPAN?" I love it. Adam also says Becky was a dumpster fire last night. Andrew H says way beneath Becky. But do you insert her into the women's main event picture? Well, I mean that could be where they're going with this. I guess if you're giving them the benefit of the doubt and somehow for some reason they're in the Io Sky business, it's like, okay, well, we got to get her opponents to work with, and Becky and Io, that's a fresh matchup that could be really good. So, I'm fine with that. But when you have, and this is I think the most important note here, and Andrew H says, really, like, what are they doing with Roxanne, Julia, and Stephanie? It's like, when you have that crop of talent coming, Roxanne, Julia, and Stephanie Vaquer, especially Stephanie Vaquer, Lyra Valkyria all of a sudden becomes significantly less important. I mean, like, even if you like her, like, as a talent, she doesn't and never has come close to either one of those women as far as charisma, star power, and then even in ring, I think, they wrestle circles around her. Just so
uniqueness, nerve, and talent. Yeah.
It's just like you have all this, all these tools in the toolbox, and you're choosing like the dullest one in Lyra Valkyria, and getting sacrificed is Roxanne. Like, she's been like totally neutralized as far as like her coming up to the main roster. Is she up there? Is she not? Julia, same way. Like, there's just not the sizzle there that you'd want. And luckily, I think Vaquer is, she's up here. Like, I think she separated herself from the pack as far as NXT call-ups go. But it's just like, you look at that picture and you're like, really? They're going to go with Becky and Lyra? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I unrelated but related. I asked ChatGPT to give me things more boring than C-SPAN. in the hopes that our
Please tell me that Lyra Valkyrie.
no, she was not. I got paint dry, attack seminar with no visuals. Airport gate announcements on loop and a 24/7 live stream of a printer slowly printing the dictionary.
I love it. All right. Well, hey, Lyra, you're not on that list, so thumbs up to you.
A little too long to be a 24/7 live stream of dictionary being printed slowly. But
yeah.
the fan works better. So.
Oh my god. yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is interesting, and like, we'll see. Again, it's early, kind of, but I don't know. I just don't see this. I just don't see, to your point, the reason. Like, why are we doing this with Roxanne and Julia and Stephanie there? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Adam says here, ChatGPT is full of shit. Adam, that's not very nice. Be nice to the robots, or they're going to show up at your house first when the time comes to take over. Be nice to them. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for an awesome show. Appreciate it. Thanks to our Brass Ring Media Gold members, Andrew H., Adam Kidd, and Sean Palikta. Thanks to everybody else who joined the chat, Mike and the boss, and who else do we have in there? We had so many others. Thank you. Check out our membership options at patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. We want all of you guys to come join us. It's only $4 a month. You get a lot of great perks. Give us a go. We'll do all we can to earn your business. We'll be back on Thursday, talking a little AEW, talking AEW Dynamite. We'll have the both finals of the Owen Hart Cup tournament set, so we'll be able to talk about that and a host of other things. So thank you, and we'll talk to you real soon. Tyler, any final words?
I don't think so.
Arsenal didn't get it done. Arsenal did not get it done today.
I mean, they still got it's only down one, so they
only one.
They can get that to PKs in Paris. It's gonna be tough, but Mbappe kills teams. That's what I learned this year.
What do you mean?
Well, he left PSG to go to Real, and they're inverted on what they're in the Champions League. So
when I saw the draw in the semifinal, I was like, hey, like, dude, we don't
have Barca. We don't play Barca to the final. Yeah. PSG is pretty good, though. They got a lot of young players that will make a ton of money this summer.
They do.
They sell players more than most teams do. So
I just was like, come on, just one goal, just one today, and they just couldn't get it done. We'll see. All right, guys. Thank you so much once again. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a great rest of your Tuesday evening. See you later.